followers were doing it.
Alright, let me see.
I wonder if that's a big problem with the ringing.
It will come. So if it's still ringing, it will. With me, it definitely comes through, and it is very annoying. But it's not like super loud. But it definitely will come through.
Why could you hear us? I know. Someone's like, I heard that. And what's up? Hey, we're live. I still hear a little bit of that ringing. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear that ringing. If you can hear that ringing, let me know. Let a guy know. If you can hear me talking, let me know too. Thank you guys. I'm doing great. Episode 52. We're on a live stream here. This is a new location. Gina is still on vacation. She's out there traveling the U.S. somewhere in a Winnebago or something. I don't know. But shout out to Gina. We hope to see you soon. Shout out to a bunch of people. Kilo Tactical and Apostle. Like, they're just sending me stuff. Look at this Alex Jones shirt. Alex Jones, InfoWars Rage.
Based.
Listen, shout out to our sponsor, SonoraDefense.com. Listen, go over there if you need some stippling work on your Glocks or on your CZs. Let them know that we sent you. Use the code IDG10. Go to, what the heck is all our stuff? Go to doinggreat.locals.com. Go to the IDGmensclub.locals.com. Go to My Health Shift, which is Gina's women's group. .com, all that other fun stuff. But here we go. Listen, I'm here with Bryson Gray. What up, Bryson?
What's happening?
Hey. Ringing is audible, they're saying. They're saying the ringing is audible. I don't know what to do. I don't know if we continue with the audible ringing.
So I'm guessing, is it loud though? Are they saying it's loud?
I don't know. What are you guys saying? Is the ringing loud?
Let me go to the chat.
Yeah, go to the chat. I mean, I can see a little bit of it. This is also a very professional thing we got going here. Let's see. Yep, we can hear the ringing. Dang. Ringing is audible. Someone else said I cannot hear a ringing.
Somebody said I think rap is basically a degenerate art form. Well, that's idiotic and ignorant. Per the definition of ignorant, that's literally what that is. If rap is a degenerate art form, that means all art forms are degenerate.
Go ahead. Go on.
I mean, it literally has to be. Rock music is simply about drugs. Pop music is simply about sex. Country music is about getting drunk and having sex with random women. So if I mean, degeneracy is degeneracy. I think the only music genre that wouldn't be degeneracy would be, I guess, classical music because it has no freaking words. But outside of that, like, bro, there's rock songs about being drug addicts and snorting cocaine. So I mean.
Nothing wrong with that. I don't think so. Hey, have you heard Trump's Mar-a-Lago was raided today?
I did hear that. I made a song about it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's because it's dropping tomorrow, but you know.
You know how I feel about it?
How?
I don't care.
I care, but the only reason I care is because of the timing. So you have Alex Jones being a political.
I care about that.
Being politically persecuted, and then you pop out with Donald Trump getting raided. Now, Patriots get raided all the time, so it's not new. But I think the timing of it is crazy. It's like they're trying to purposely persecute some of the most prominent figures in the movement. But I think the Alex Jones one is way more crazy than Trump getting raided. So.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Well, the only reason why I don't care that Mar-a-Lago got raided is just because if, let's say, the Senate passes that assault weapons ban, you know what's going to happen? You know how Trump's going to sleep while my house is getting raided? Like a baby.
Probably.
So that's why I don't. Oh, Trump's house getting raided. I'm not surprised. Why are we surprised? Are we surprised that the FBI and that, you know, the administration probably had Mar-a-Lago raided?
We shouldn't be. I mean, this is what they do. I'm not really surprised. Of course, they don't want trying to run in 2024, and I don't really care about that aspect of it either. But it seemed like that's what they're trying to stop. And one last thing, somebody said in the comment that rap is just talking. You might be a low IQ individual. So rap, and I'm not being rude. I'm just blunt. Rap is the most high IQ genre there is, and even if you disagree with it, you can't disagree with a basic fact. You can't show me a pop song or rock song or country song where I don't understand what they're talking about. There's not a lot of metaphors, not a lot of similes. With rap, you can't be stupid and understand a rapper because they say metaphors, punchlines that I know for a fact most people don't get because I made a song and it wasn't even a hard punchline, it was something slick. I said I keep a drum like I'm Nick Cannon, and 60% of the people thought I was shouting out Nick Cannon. So that proves right there that a lot of people don't like rap, and I'm being just blunt. It's because your IQ isn't high enough.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, hey, man. Someone is watching us from Nigeria. So they're saying, what is it saying? Yo, Bryson, watching from Nigeria.
Yo, based. I want to.
I really love you, man. Just watch your interview.
Let's go.
Is that bad? Is that racist that I'm trying to
Racism is funny, bro.
Yo, someone asked, "Sup with Demon Time." Do you know what they're referencing?
Demon Time. Fort Jada Blow made a song called Demon Time. And I knew when he released it that it was going to be this type of response because, of course, as Christian conservatives say demon time, then that's you're referring to demons. But if anybody knows anything about culture, it's really just a popular reference in culture to say like you on your grind or you know what I'm saying, you ready to go. But I would never do that. But it's not them worshiping Satan or demon or something like that. It's just a popular reference that I don't think people should be using. But I mean, it's a popular reference in culture.
Can I tell you something? I used to cringe when I used to hear like Christians and conservatives being like, "Well, it's because they're demons. It's because the Democrats are demons." And I'm like, come on, man. But now with all this abortion stuff and all the drag queen stuff, especially with the abortion stuff, I'm saying to myself, I think these people may literally be demons.
No, they are. I mean, bro, there's a reason why more godless people, like if you look at it, the 2020 exit polls, atheists are more likely to vote for Democrats, obviously, just like single people are more likely to vote for Democrats. Married people are more likely to vote conservative. And the reason why godless people are more likely to vote for these people because, in my opinion, they are demons. I mean, just look at what they promote. Republicans are not too far behind, though. So let's be honest.
Yeah, no, for real. It's just the conversations that I've been having with people a lot lately, and I mean, there are some good conversations where we're actually having like a philosophical discussion, but there are other conversations where people are like flat out like, no, I just don't care. You're not killing a person. You're killing a clump of cells, and I'm just like, wow, you might be the devil.
Yes.
In human form. Like you might be a demon, I think, to just deny people's humanity like that. I don't know.
And think about the reason. So the reason is what make it really demonic. People always bring up rape and stuff like that, but look at the dang on statistics. Majority of women get abortions because they are whores. And they want to be whores and they don't want to take responsibility for the action of being a whore. And that is really what abortion is 99% of the time. And they're willing to just degrade an unborn child, which they once were, and they didn't get aborted, and they're willing to degrade that child because they don't want to be like, I need to take responsibility for my actions. And I think there's like an epidemic of that with women now, not wanting to take responsibilities for their actions.
And men too, just pretty much.
No, not as much, but men too sometimes.
Well, I think there's a large group, not even group. I think there's a big number of men who not necessarily coerce, because it's tough to coerce an adult into doing something. But if they are small-brained, I guess it's easier to do so. But I think a lot of guys are responsible for abortions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of guys are saying, I'm not ready for this. I'm not. No. I think get an abortion. We can't do this right now.
Yeah, having sex out of wedlock. But I'm talking about like just with everything. I'm not even just talking about abortion. I'm talking about just across a scale. Women have like a responsibility issue. And a lot of times they can be sort of narcissistic. But men, I mean, having sex out of wedlock. Listen, if everybody lived like the Bible tells you to live, there would be no need for abortions. So even if you're the most secular atheist, you have to admit that basic fact. If everybody lived biblically, there would be no need for abortions because people would not be having sex out of wedlock. People would be waiting until marriage, and then your kids wouldn't be in public school, so your kids wouldn't be indoctrinated by the government, and then you will raise your children.
So Mavdick says, I don't think Mike grasps the gravity of Trump being raided. Like I said, what's going to come of it?
Well,
what's going to happen?
So I think it's a scare tactic. So it's crazy because it's a scare tactic. And another reason it's crazy, but I don't think anybody should be surprised. I mean, you got to think about it, social media. So people are going to be lit about something for a few days. But nobody should be surprised, but it's interesting how we can't get this with other politicians.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay, so you have the mainstream media who hides the Hunter Biden story from being released, people getting their accounts suspended, all that stuff. They're even talking about it. And, they're doing this in the middle of midterms because they want a picture of Trump, let out in handcuffs or something like that, or they want to see the words in a headline, Trump indicted on blah, 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 blah. It's happening right before the midterms. I'm not surprised. I do understand the gravity, but it's all, I think it's theater. I honestly think it's theater.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Trump releases a video like within hours, like, look at what they're doing to me. I don't know if you saw that, but.
Nah, I didn't see his video. I saw the response he posted on Truth. He always posts them responses. But I mean, the thing about it though is this, right? So I just want to go back to the Hillary Clinton emails. It was factually speaking classified information on the emails. and they literally destroyed evidence, like quite literally destroy evidence, and that is verified. And the issue with that is there's a military guy. There was a story a few years ago. A guy in the military actually went to jail for
I remember that,
like taking a picture of a submarine.
Yeah, he was
or
in
something.
the Navy, right? Yeah,
he was in the Navy, just taking a picture of a submarine because it was classified. He went to jail for that. But Hillary Clinton get out scot-free. So there's obviously a two-tier justice system, right? And I say this on my Soul Listen tomorrow. It's a two-tier justice system, and I think it's obvious, and it has been obvious. But I feel like when something happened to Trump, I hate to say it, but a lot of people, they only care about something when it happens to Trump. So it's good that it's happening to Trump, so people can finally be like, oh, it really is a two-tier justice system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people need to see it in a certain way to understand.
Right. I mean, how long have people been saying, look into Nancy Pelosi's husband, look into how she's getting her money, look into all these politicians who right before COVID were making a lot of weird stock trades, looking at, people, Hillary Clinton getting off scot-free for destroying more than 30,000 emails. Crazy. You know what I mean? Like, look, why is Biden giving billions of dollars to Ukraine? Just all these kind of things. And you know what? I got to say, I was on vacation in Florida, and I was just at the in-laws' house, and, my father-in-law watches Fox News. But it's just like, dude, Fox News, it's every show, with the exception of Tucker, is the same exact thing.
Correct.
Repeated,
Correct.
repeated, day after day. It's nothing new. I understand why people get so riled up when you think about, look what they're doing to Trump, because that's all they're saying. I'm like, this isn't healthy for anybody.
It isn't healthy, but I mean, their job isn't about health. Their job is to get clicks. Their job is to make money, and they do it. That's why I turn to more like I like independent media, man. I like independent. I like watching people who I genuinely think is smart have takes on something.
Yeah, and they were also saying with the Trump stuff that he declassified whatever material he had anyway. He's the president. He's allowed to declassify whatever he wants. So those materials that may have been classified, were probably declassified. I don't know.
So what I'm hearing is he had this from his election, and this could be false information, but he had it after the situation, and he had talked with the FBI about what to do with the documents, and they pretty much told him to chill on it, and then they pretty much trying to get him on it, and that's what I'm hearing is happening in short, but I don't know how valid that is.
So here's a question, okay? Because we got my boy AJ on the shirt, InfoWars Rage. Shout out Kilo Tactical and Apostle. If he can be sued for defamation, right? Because I believe the allegation was not only did he say Sandy Hook was a hoax, those kids really didn't die, but also it was alleged that he was sending people to the dead, kids' parents' houses or something. I don't know if that was found to be true or not, but I watched a lot of that trial, and they showed pieces of evidence of him saying, it may not be true, or it may be true, or I think it happened. They definitely killed some kids, but, the government and false flags will do that. They will kill kids. But I'm just saying, like, okay, if Alex Jones can get sued and then have to pay out over $50 million, can I sue the Biden administration? Can I sue, what's his name? Fauci? Can I sue the head of the WHO? The head of the WHO hasn't been jabbed.
I heard.
He was doing an interview where the reporter was saying, what was it like when you first got your inoculation? How did that go for you? Were you a little bit worried? And he was like, well, I'm not at that place yet. I never got there, so I'll let you know. I'm like, the head of the WHO is not jabbed?
I'm not surprised. But so the thing with Alex Jones was so crazy to me is this though, right? So let's say, okay, he questioned it. I remember he did. Mm-hmm. So what?
Exactly. So what?
So what? Millions of people are questioning it. People still question it. The validity of it. The reason they're trying to attack him, and he didn't send anybody to somebody's house. You can say somebody that watched InfoWars went to their houses, but he never told somebody to say go to their houses. Mm-hmm. You can't say because somebody, like, now you're trying to blame Alex Jones for something he had no control over. So
yeah, can we sue Colin Powell for weapons of mass destruction?
Can we sue all of these people? All the lot of them.
The 9/11 truthers? Can you sue them for saying 9/11 was an inside job? Like,
yes. Can you sue them too? Like, this is so, to me, that's why the Alex Jones one is more important, because it's about your words. Like, free speech is not really real anymore when you really think about it. But this trial with Alex Jones, like, you can get sued over you can literally get sued over your free speech now. Like, it's I don't. where we gonna go next? I mean, I already know I'm gonna be in a gulag. Fine, I'm fine with it. But
Well, here's the sketchiest part of the whole, Trump getting raided is the judge who signed the warrant happened to be Epstein's defense lawyer.
I read that earlier.
That's kind of trippy.
That's
like,
that's
whoa,
crazy.
full circle. Here we go. Ghislaine Maxwell still sitting in a cell.
Yep, and the docs are still sealed. Don't forget that the
list.
They sealed the Epstein list. We're never going to see it in our lifetime ever.
Oh no, but I think there are flight logs where you see names of people who have been out. Like Quentin Tarantino's been out there, Justin Timberlake's been out there, a bunch of other people been out there.
I want the full list. Like Justin Timberlake, people like that. Those are small fries when you really look in the grand scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you probably some of the top politicians on both sides.
Yeah.
Probably was there. So I need the full list. Somebody need. Never mind.
Listen, have you gotten into numerology? You follow Larry Johnson on Instagram?
I hate numerology.
Okay, yeah, I don't understand. Can we talk about numerology? Because Larry Johnson goes in on numerology, and I like a lot of his takes, but it's just, man, he's like, look, another one sacrificed. Look at today's date. Where does that come? Do you know where numerology comes from?
So I don't know the origins of numerology, but I've had conversations and debates, personal ones online with people that believe in numerology, and they think everything's connected with numbers. The issue with that is, have you ever saw the movie, I think it was called 23 or 21?
The number 23 with Jim Carrey.
Yes. You can make like with numerology, you can make anything connect on the face of this earth. Like literally, if you really think about it, you can use numbers to make anything connect. So when they talk, it can sound good, of course, if you're confident. But everybody sounds good when they're confident.
Yeah.
So they can talk about things that may sound good in their brain, and they very may well believe it. But numerology, I mean, anybody can do it at that point. I can make anything. And then one time I talked to somebody who tried to relate numerology, but try to view it from a biblical perspective. Mm-hmm. But he wasn't well versed in the scriptures, so it didn't match. Because when he uses certain words, he don't understand what them words meant biblically. Yeah. So like I don't trust numerology at all.
We got a lot of scripture talk in here, so I wanted to ask you just because a lot of people have been saying stuff regarding the, I don't know if Jesus Christ said it, but what do you know the full not the full verse or whatever, but the couple of sentences of the turn the other cheek?
Yeah. So it is isn't it in Matthew? I think it's in Matthew. It might be during the Sermon on the Mount, right? It got to be Matthew, right? Let me look it up. I'm usually
in
right.
the meantime, yeah, while you look this up. Yeah, I'm curious about it because I don't think it just means let other people treat you horribly. No. If someone hits you, to just walk away from that. I don't think that's what that means.
I was right. Matthew 5. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other to him also. Or if someone wants to sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. So this is what it says. And if you look at it, it says eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. So what Jesus is doing, he's referring back to the Tanakh, because this is what Matthew 5 is about. He's in the Sermon on the Mount, it starts at Matthew 5, verse 3. And the whole thing of Sermon on the Mount, after he gives you the basis of it, and a lot of Christians don't like, so I'm going to just skip over it. Mm-hmm. But once he gets to the point, after he tell you the basis, he then start explaining to you things that was in the Tanakh, or what most Christians would call the Old Testament. And he's actually making the law more strict. So that's what he's doing. So, and everybody knows it. They just don't like saying it that way. Perfect example, he uses adultery, perfect example. In the Tanakh, adultery was you had to cheat. You had to literally have sex with someone else for it to be adultery. You know what I'm saying?
And Jesus comes back and he says, if you even think about it,
that's more strict by definition of words, right?
Right.
And he continued doing that. Murder. He said, in the Tanakh, if you murdered your brother, something. But now, if you even hate your brother, you're not even supposed to go to the altar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he was making it more. He was making it more strict. So even when the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, all that stuff is pretty metaphorical, because obviously don't mean like take an eye, take an eye out, and then right after eye for eye, that's when it goes into the turn the other cheek to him. Also, I think it's metaphorical, but I still think it's saying like don't How can I say it?
Is it maybe like don't act out of anger? Maybe could that be part of it? Because eye for an eye is just equal justice.
Yeah, but Jesus was saying he's updating that. You know what I'm saying? And he was updating it, saying like if an evil person strike you, then turn your other cheek and let him strike you. Let him strike you there also. But you have to realize when they tried to attack Jesus, when Peter cut the guy's ear off, Jesus didn't say burn the sword, throw the sword away. What did Jesus tell him? Put your sword back in your sheath. What is it, kind of sheath?
Well, someone said don't hold grudges. Maybe does that have something to do with it?
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
it a sheath? Where they put the swords in? Is it sheath or sheath?
Sheath. You were talking about, I think, what were you saying before? You were saying that all the apostles carried swords, you were saying?
100% fact.
I read a really cool post saying how each apostle died. And I think the only one who survived death may have been John, because I think he survived his execution attempt, and then he was jailed, sent to where he wrote Revelations, and he lived and died old.
They cut John's head off, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they cut John's head off because he called out the guy that was committing adultery.
I think he was burned, but he survived it, and he was sent to prison. Can you Google the only apostle to live
Let me see.
or to die at old age? I don't know. This is something that I keep on reading about. I got to tell you what, as far as outside of the Bible, Instagram can be a cool place. Also a very confusing place as far as to learn about scripture and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you never know who's teaching you, but
so
there's some really good stuff.
So in the Gospels, John, he got beheaded. His head was put on a platter.
Okay, can you Google then the only apostle to survive until old age? Can you Google that real quick? Or Shekinah, can you Google that? So can someone Google that, please?
You had me questioning myself. I'm like, bro, am I tripping?
Well, I can't remember. I can't remember. There was an apostle who definitely lived to old age. Yeah, see, it says John the Baptist.
Yeah, see, it says John, but his head literally got cut off. Like that's his head got cut off because he called out the dude for adultery. If I'm not mistaken, and he was calling out the leader for committing adultery. Because I remember his head got cut off and they put it on a platter and took it back to the king.
Is this someone just said this? J.K. said Jesus said, "Sell your cloak and buy a sword."
Jesus is the one who said that.
Really? Do you know what the context of that was?
Oh, it was literally talking about. So listen.
Listen, he's literally telling you to buy a sword. That's it.
No, literally say cloak buy a sword. So the Bible also says when a man is armed, his goods are safe. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all throughout the Bible, it's telling you to keep a sword, be strapped.
Yeah,
you know what
that's what I'm saying. Jesus was 2A.
Keep that blinky. I mean, when they try to attack Jesus, Jesus like, boy, I could have a hundred angels over here with swords out on y'all right now if I wanted to. Well, it was more than 100. It was thousands. But I mean, when people try to say, you can't be Christian and carry a gun, I'm like, bro, Jesus watched Peter cut a man's ear off. Mm-hmm. And all he said was, chill, put the sword back in the, I don't know if it's sheath or sheath, but that's going to know it. Sheath. Yeah. So put the sword back in the sheath, and that was it. He never said throw away your sword.
Yeah.
And then people were like, well, he also said if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But living by the sword don't mean using it when you need to use it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Jesus is the one who says "Say your cloak by a sword," which I said those verses in I say those verses in a few songs actually.
First super chat, we said Mav Dick said, Mike, this guy in chat is spamming over and over. Mav Dick, which one is it? S.A. Levi, who is it? Because then I think, do I have to appoint a moderator? And if that's the case, Mav Dick, do you want to be the moderator? Okay, someone has told me to kick Essie, so that's what I'm going to do. Bryson, talk about something.
What can I talk about? The LGBT is a net negative to society. First wave feminism is just as bad as the feminism now. Contrary to popular belief, because first wave feminism. Fun fact, if y'all didn't know this, and anybody in the chat can go look this up. This is a very fun fact. I think it was based on the statistics in Massachusetts. I think it was only 4% of women wanted the right to vote. Only 4% wanted the right to vote.
This was originally?
Yeah, the suffrage movement. The majority of women did not want the right to vote. It was forced. It was forced on people. This is a guaranteed fact. Somebody go look it up. And the article is from New York Times or one of these super liberal places. So yeah, that's a fun fact for everybody to note.
The feminists.
First wave. I can't stand. I say a lot of conservatives were like, I like first wave feminism, but it's this new feminism. No. This new feminism is first wave feminism. There's no waves, my boy. It is all feminism.
I think in our very first episode, I said first wave, second wave, third wave, all of it.
All of it.
Garbage.
It's trash. And we look at society now, and we can tell it sucks.
Hey, is Beyonce a devil worshiper?
Probably. So to me, it's two things, right? I used to be heavy into like the symbolism stuff, right? I used to research that heavy. And then I sort of got out of it because I started realizing that a lot of these music artists.
Hold that thought.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to that. Okay, Redneck Zeus said, John the Baptist was beheaded. The Apostle John survived being plunged into boiling oil and later died of old age. And I believe the Apostle John wrote Revelation, not John the Baptist.
Correct. That's correct.
So thank you, Redneck Zeus.
That's correct. John is the one that had the dream of Revelation. That's true.
Beyonce, the devil, go.
So Beyonce, here's the thing about how I used to be in symbolism. I used to research all the Illuminati stuff, right? And then you start thinking, they started saying low-level people were Illuminati. And then I realized record labels actually use that symbolism stuff to get your attention, like for clicks.
Yeah.
And then is when I really said it's bullcrap. I've had 4 people in the last 48 hours tell me that I was in the Illuminati. And I said, what are you talking about? They, no lie, sent me 5 pictures that I taken. One of me on my phone, and another one, they sent me 5 pictures and said, look at the hand movement you're doing or whatever it was. And I said, what are you talking about? And they were so serious. And I said, no, y'all are actually crazy. Y'all people are like crazy.
Yeah.
And why would the Illuminati even allow somebody like me in?
Yeah. Well, those are the people that, you know, the Larry Johnson people, when they say, you know, someone did something and they had the hand like this, like, oh, that's a Mason. He's a Mason. He's a Freemason.
Oh, what was the cover of my album? My God Wins album. It was one album. I thought it was a cool photo shoot to have like a blue light and have my hood on. I thought it was going to look like cool. And somebody said, what was it? It's some symbolism. It was like if half your face is covered.
Oh, like this.
Yeah,
like
but you don't have to. So they said you don't even have to do it. They said something has to be partially covering it, and if something is partially covering it, that's a sign that you're part of the Illuminati. I'm like, well, if nothing is covering it. It's just half the room is dark, half the room is light. I have a hood on. I think it's God Wins album, and I have the hood on, and if you look closely, you can see both of my eyes. And I said, how do you feel about that? And then he said, no, it's too close. I want to believe you, bro. I was like, want to believe me? No, bro, you sound crazy. You need to seek help. And I don't know what's crazy.
Yeah, some of the photo shoots that I do, I think about it sometimes when I'm posing someone or just telling someone just what to do. I'm like, oh my God, if someone could take this and say that person's a Mason, that person's a Illuminati just based on, you know, the position of their body or what they're doing with their hands.
Yeah, so I took one with my phone, and they said my hand was doing something. And I'm like, this is how I talk on the phone every single day. So you tell me every single day I'm making a what's it, Mason?
An Illuminati?
Yeah, Illuminati.
Masonic?
Masonic. Yeah, a Masonic hand symbol. But I said, bro, this is like so crazy, and it's sad because I used to be these people.
Yeah.
So.
Can we go back? Can we just talk about like how Fox News is just so, to me, and I hate using the word because I feel like it's a leftist liberal word, toxic, but it is, man.
Yes.
I was sat there watching it like why am I supposed to care about this? This is ridiculous. This is all like country music. It's all like, and I'm an American. Hey, like, and I just don't get that. I'm like, they're definitely appealing to a certain type of person, but not in a very net positive way. I don't think. Like this is this is why I almost like don't want to associate with the MAGA movement. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm a conservative. You know, on the way to Christian conservative, I get that. I understand that. But I almost don't want to align myself with the MAGA movement. Mm-hmm. Though I'd still vote for Trump if he was the nominee. As of right now. Of right now.
I'm more towards not even voting, period. And the reason why is because you have to look at society. We are still currently ranked number 1 in GDP, correct?
Correct.
They say we might fall off in the next 2 to 3 years, but currently we are number 1 in GDP, which means we are the richest country in the world. We rank number 2 in depression in the world. We rank number 1 in single parent household in the world. As far as large countries, like developed countries, we're number 1 in obesity. We're number 1 in drug overdoses. We high divorce rates. We rank number 10 in promiscuous women. I mean, bro, for us to have a lot of money, the moral decline is like, I feel like it's speeding up. So it led me to something very simple. And I used to be one of those like socialism sucks people, because socialism does suck. But it started becoming cringe when you see people only focus on things like that. And then you have to look behind it. Like, well, first off, if you look at every society, even the rich ones, when you look at why they fail, it really had nothing to do with the financial aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at that, you're like, okay, this is the reality. These are the statistics. These are like verifiable numbers, right? What do we do here? And then I ask, this society, not economics, did society get more morally corrupt or less so under Trump, during Trump administration? And I'm not saying Trump caused it,
Right.
but did it naturally get worse? Yes, society got way worse under Trump. It's like it did under Obama. It's like it is getting way worse under Obama. Economics got way better under Trump.
Right.
He's a businessman. He know how to run the country like a business. But will that save the country from destruction? And the clear-cut answer is no. It can't. And it's proven. It's a fact. This is not nothing you can argue about. It's a verifiable fact that the moral decay of society will not be saved by a politician. And the reason why is simple. We're not electing conservatives. We're electing libertarians who say they're conservative and liberals. So the way it works is the left, they trying to take a mile. You give them an inch, right? You give them an inch. Then when Republicans come in, we don't try to reverse what we gave them. We try to stop them from taking more. Mm-hmm. So a liberal come back in. They keep taking inches. They keep taking inches. Then they start taking miles. Republicans like, we have to stop it from getting worse than this. But nobody is saying we need to go back. Mm-hmm. Everybody's saying let's just try to slow them down. Right. If you keep trying to slow them down and they keep pushing forward, in 30 years, what you're going to have is a completely immoral society. So I want a conservative in office. The only way I will be excited about voting again is if I get a real Christian conservative to run. And people be like, separation of church and state, dude. Don't mix religion and politics, dude. Y'all idiots. Y'all don't even know what the words mean. Y'all don't even know where separation from religion and state, separation from religion and state even came from. Y'all don't even know what these things mean.
There's a letter from Thomas Jefferson to some Protestants, and what he feared was we may have messed up, and we actually may have created a separation of church and state. And that's what he feared. He feared that a wall was being built to separate church from state.
Boom. And when people think about it, talk about you shouldn't vote based on your religion. What the crap are you talking about? How can my faith in God be the number one thing in my life that influences me? How can you say that shouldn't affect my politics? That makes zilch not a sense. So with that being said, I'm tired of voting to play defense. Mm-hmm. It's time to get on offense, okay? Now you got Fox News. They're scared to say things. Now you got them promoting trannies also, or transgenders. I don't want to get us banned. And I mean, so you got that with Fox News. Every Republican president is adopting the LGBT feminist culture. Tamala Loren, Tamala Loren is the epitome of degeneracy, right? Literally.
Really?
Bro,
I remember. I just don't know if she's relevant.
First off, she doesn't want abortion illegal.
Okay.
She's pro-LGBT.
Okay.
She's a feminist. She thinks I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man.
Okay.
She is the epitome of what I fight against.
Red flag, red flag,
red flag, red flag, red flag. But because she's fiscally conservative, right? That's what I'm fiscally conservative.
Nah, get out of my tent, bro. Get out of my tent.
And that's my point. If these are the people y'all want to push, cool. If that's MAGA now, kick me out of MAGA. I'm still have what I believe to be MAGA. But
so someone, Isaiah said something. Isaiah Dillard, Trump is the first conservative, quote unquote, to accept LGBT and hold their flag.
Hold the flag, bro. You know what's funny? I ain't gonna lie. I let Trump slide with that stuff, and I'm gonna tell you why in the beginning why I let him slide.
Okay.
Because every LGBT related policy, and when I say this, people always argue about things that's not policy. Listen to my words closely. I speak carefully, so don't add or take away. There was no policy that Trump passed that was pro-LGBT. Matter of fact, if you look at Trump's 4 years, and a lot of people don't really pay attention, and this is the issue, Bruce Jenner stopped supporting Trump because of some of his policies. A lot of LGBT right-wingers were upset at Trump because of some of his policies. Because all of his policies, every single LGBT-related policy, I said every single like it wasn't.
Trans in the military, I remember that.
It was only like 2 or 3. But every single one was anti-LGBT. So I let him slide on the homo propaganda, right? Mm-hmm. But now it's becoming too much. And even another thing he did that was like so Obama-ish and saying we're going to decriminalize homosexuality across the world. Why? You sound like Obama. Leave people alone. Obama already went to Africa and tried it. Africa said, no, get the crap out of here, homo. We don't got time. why would you try it? And Trump didn't actually try it. He said it, but if you look at the voice, he never tried to decriminalize.
Well, wait, who are we to even say decriminalize homosexuality across the world? Like,
who are we?
Yeah.
This is the issue. Who are we? We want to police the world, and then we wonder why countries hate us and want to bomb us because we don't leave people alone.
Mm-hmm.
We think we are degenerate selves. We think we have the best morals, and we want to push being a good person on other countries. Did you hear what Putin said? Did you watch that Putin speech? Where he talked about the degeneracy that that a lot of Western countries push? He said we don't want that here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's simple. We don't. We don't want to hear because listen. Contrary to popular belief, everybody who's watching, the United States of America is the minority of the world, and when I say that, I mean the way we go about life is we're the minority. Even things as simple as kicking your kids out at 18 years old. That's normal here. Mm-hmm. That is not normal anywhere outside of Western culture. Putting your parents in nursing homes or retiring homes. That is not normal anywhere on earth outside of Western societies. Doing things like, I mean, there's so many things how we raise children is not normal. Yeah. It is normal here. Yeah. We are weird to even using terms like black and white. That is weird in most places on earth.
You know what's fascinating to me? I think, I don't know, Shekinah, if I said this to you, but I was talking about it with someone else. Is like how Christian conservatives and conservative Muslims probably have a lot in common.
Of course.
And don't realize it.
Of course.
They just kind of let Fox News kind of radicalize them as far as thinking that all whatever all Muslims think.
9/11 and stuff.
Right, but I'm just saying when you line up Christian conservative values as far as things that as far as talking about like the LGBTQ movement, all that other nonsense, religion and politics, probably a lot of conservative Muslims share a lot of values with Christian conservatives. It's very, very interesting.
Well, in the Quran, it literally tells you have to follow the Torah and the Gospels.
Jesus was they believed him to be a prophet, right?
Well, they actually believe him to be a Messiah too. Now I think they believe in like two Messiahs or something weird. The main differences, and they are big differences. They don't believe Jesus is the literal Son of God, and they don't believe Jesus died on a cross.
What did they believe he died?
So this was interesting. People think that they're trying to disrespect Jesus by believing that. Muslims don't believe Jesus died on a cross because they don't think God would ever allow one of his chosen people to be ridiculed like that. Because you got to understand, you got to understand what happened on that cross.
Oh, yeah.
So Muslims don't believe God would allow one of his chosen people to be treated like that. So they believe like the event is in the Quran, but they believe God took Jesus up before it happened. And one of the rumors, this is not in the Quran, but amongst a lot of Muslims, they believe that Jesus was replaced on the stake with Judas.
Oh, really?
So like people get mad, but I disagree with them, obviously, because if I agree with them, then
I kind of understand it because you don't want to believe that God would kill his only son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that makes sense, but he does it for us. Joe Rogan had Richard Dawkins on this a while ago, and I just saw a clip of it on YouTube because they did like one of those YouTube shorts. But Joe Rogan asked Richard Dawkins, "Do you believe Jesus was a real person?" And Richard Dawkins was like, "Well, it's not what I if I do believe that if he was real or not. I guess what you'd have to do is question is if those miracles performed that was real. Him raising people from the dead and walking on water. I mean, if he was real or not doesn't really matter." And I'm just like, dude, of course he was real. You can't deny that. He said there's no historical evidence that he was real. Yes,
that's cap.
That is very cap.
Yeah,
that is cap. High cap.
That's, I mean, that's even in the Talmud. So Talmud is basically what Jews read. It's basically commentary throughout so long of history for Jews. In the Talmud, they recognize that Jesus is a real person. They disrespect him, but they acknowledge that he was literally real, walked the earth, but they view him as like a crazy man. He was like a schizo or something. He was crazy, but he was real. There's people that dislike Jesus that also but they also give an account of when he was crucified. So there's too much evidence of that event happening itself.
Right.
Period. So it's
more than 500 people saw him risen after he died. Yeah.
So it's a fact that Jesus was real. Now you could try to argue asemantics, and then at that point I'm just tell you, well, I have faith in the Bible. So at that point, but to argue if Jesus was real or not, I mean, there's no point even arguing that because that's a silly argument.
Desubversion said Muslims don't believe Jesus was Son of God. Another key part to the gospel.
That's what I said. They don't believe he was the literal son of God.
Right. The literal son.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Hey, Mike, you now's not the time to not have Donald Trump's back." I was like, man, what?
I hate stuff like that. That's like some cult like stuff.
It is,
bro. And I'm gonna say this, and I think what happened to Trump today is crazy. I've said it was crazy multiple times, and I think it's I think they're coming for us next. But y'all have this energy with Trump that nobody can criticize Trump or say they don't care about something Trump did, but y'all let Trump slide when he pardoned Kodak Black, when he pardoned Lil Wayne, but let the January 6th prisoners sit in there and rot. And then y'all can't have no excuse because he was president. He could have done it while he was president. He had like a month left in his presidency. Matter of fact, the January 6th prisoners were in prison when he pardoned Kodak Black and Lil Wayne. A lot of them are already in prison. Not all, but a lot of them are already in prison. So he could have done it. And these people were in prison crying out for Trump, especially Jake, the QAnon Viking, right? What the most popular guy that a lot of y'all, by the way, and I'm gonna say this, any of you people who called him Antifa, you were wrong. You doxed him. You were worse. You are a terrible human being and you need to repent.
Yeah, that's what I heard people saying, that he wasn't either MAGA supporter or conservative.
He was a MAGA supporter for sure.
Yeah?
He knew, bro. So I'm outside with it. So I was going to every event there was. We in the streets. We fighting for what we believe in.
I saw you. Weren't you with AJ? Like, because I watched the Alex Jones documentary, and I saw you in a clip with. Oh, we were there. We were screaming.
We were there together. Yeah.
Was that January 5th or the 6th? Because AJ went out there.
Yeah, I was there for all of them. So sometimes it gets confusing. But you know who else was out there for all of them? Jake, the QAnon Viking.
Yeah.
So we walked up to me and Forgiato Blow walked up to him, take a picture. You know, sometimes I still get surprised when people know me. And he started shouting out my lyrics to Trump is your president. You know what I'm saying? He was a real, and so I did a benefit concert for him for free because they were doing a show to raise money to help him in jail because he is a little off. He's a little like,
yo, Joe Biggs is still in prison?
All these people, like a lot of these people, like are.
That's what people in the chat are saying. Joe Biggs is in prison still.
These people are in prison, but the reason I'm focusing on Jake is because he got ridiculed by Trump supporters, calling him Antifa.
Why did they do that?
You know the real reason?
Yeah.
It's because the way he looked.
The optics.
The optics. I'm telling you. They said they looked at him, and you know what was worse? People started posting a picture of me, Forgiato Blow, and him, and saying these three are Antifa. And I said, thanks for proving my point.
Yeah.
And even my followers like, okay, now y'all are idiots. Because I'm in the streets all the time. So they doxed him. They doxed Jake and called him Antifa. They doxed him. You can get mad at him for being a QAnon supporter. You can get mad at him for his religious views. But this man was outside in the streets fighting for what y'all say y'all want to fight for more than 90% of y'all on the internet. For a fact. Yeah. I've watched it with my own two eyes. He was at every Arizona rally. And then like the pictures that people say he was at a Black Lives Matter rally. Idiotic. He was protesting against Black Lives Matter.
Did you see the Kevin Gates clip? Did you see that Kevin Gates clip?
Oh, yeah.
That is one of my favorite things.
I love it.
What's up with Kevin Gates? Is he based?
He degenerate. But here's the thing. Listen, here's the thing people get confused about, right? Here's the thing people get confused about. People get shocked when they see black people say this, but if people start paying attention, black people say this literally every day. Black celebrities say this every day. Black male celebrities mainly say this every day. Nobody rocks with Biden. A lot of people are done with the Black Lives Matter crap because, like he said, what he says, a lot of people believe. We shoot each other in the streets every day. We hate on us the most. Don't tell me about Black Lives Matter. Don't tell me about that because Black lives only matter when they get shot by a white man. So that's what Kevin Gates was saying, and a lot of people feel that way because it's a fact.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. I don't know. He's a rapper, right? Like I don't really remember too much of his music.
He's a rapper. Yes, if people go to academics page.
I saw the comments. Yeah.
Okay, for conservatives, if you want to know what's going on in hip hop, black culture, whichever way you want to view it, follow academics on Instagram. Read the comment section every time something posted about Trump. Matter of fact, academics himself said he voting for Trump in 2024. So I don't even know if I'm voting, but in the black community, I'm like, you might as well go vote for Trump. You gave Biden a chance. So I'm still changing minds and promoting people to vote. But I don't believe in voting the lesser of two evils. But I'm still going to put the message out there.
Big Nick says...
My boy.
That boy, Bryson, speaking facts.
My boy, Big Nick in the building. Shout out to the real, who I call the true believers in Christ that's trying to walk like Christ, that's trying to talk like Christ, that's trying to live like Christ. I love that.
He's got a check mark next to his name.
Oh, Big Nick popping. What's funny is people like that got way better stories than me because I've never been like super degenerate. But Big Nigga, if he told you his story, like it's crazy, like, but it's documented. He usually popular on Vine, and then he used to like do all types of crazy stuff, and he got it on videos as film, and then he literally changed his life. Changed his life. You know what I'm saying? That's something you gotta respect.
I respect that. I respect people who do 180s, especially people who are in the public eye. I understand that. I get that. Especially, you remember Jim Caviezel, like the dude who played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ? I think the guy who played Jesus in The Passion of the Christ didn't really do anything else. I think he had a show on CBS, but after that, that's it. Also, have you seen this show called The Chosen?
Everybody keeps talking about it. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's like a dramatic retelling of the New Testament. I watched a little bit of it. Acting's not all that good.
You know so?
No.
Everybody tells me it's like top tier, amazing.
Do you watch any movies, or are you entertained by any movies or stories, TV shows that try to tell stories that maybe took place during the same time as Christ? Like you had Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, where a lot of people, and there's a famous clip, I think on Oprah, where a Greek Orthodox priest gets up and he's like, you people are blaspheming. This movie is blasphemous. You know, Jesus didn't run away with Mary Magdalene and have kids and stuff like that. Like, do you entertain any of those movies? Or do you try to stay away from those, or do you watch them and be like, I want to see what they're talking about?
I'm gonna watch them. And the interesting part about that, right? So historically, there was a debate. So fun fact. A lot of people don't realize this. A lot of reasons why some things are like so set in stone in Christianity is because they literally killed everybody who disagreed. Literally, look up history. They literally killed. If you like, once they said this is what it is, you're dead if you disagree. Which is I mean, great for propaganda, obviously.
Yeah.
But so if you read I think it's the Gospel of one of these extra gospels that are out that were written. They're very old. They date back to the time where a lot of the New Testament was written. I don't subscribe to them, but I do find it interesting. If you read them, which
gospels are these?
Which one is it? The Gospel of Shekinah. Which one is it? We read it.
Don't they have like? Isn't there like a Gospel of James and
it's
a
not
Gospel
that one.
of something else?
Keep going.
I don't know.
Is it the Gospel of Peter? Which one was it? We're talking about how like it says Jesus kissed Mary all of the time, kiss all the time, and then they refer to Mary as his not soulmate.
The Gnostic Gospels, those.
I can't remember which one it is, bro. I read
That's
it.
what the duck said. I like the duck.
Nah, it's not the Gnostic Gospels. I know what you're talking about, but no, it's a gospel of somebody. It's a popular name.
He says they were written.
Thomas,
the Gospel of Thomas.
The Gospel of Thomas.
The duck says they were written 400 years after Christ, which is interesting. But also, Mary had another son did he become an apostle as well?
Are people talking about James? Because Jesus called James his brother?
Yeah, but it wasn't his blood brother, was it?
So
do we know?
The consensus is that it's not literally his brother because people don't want to believe that Jesus had a brother. But it's interesting because he literally called James his brother, though. In the context, it's literally called him his brother. I thought it was interesting. But I don't care enough to even debate about it because it's just what the scripture says. I don't know.
Ali says the Gnostic Gospels are the books left out of the Bible.
Well, you have different ones. So the Gnostic Gospels are from the Gnostics, but you also have the Apocrypha, which is the ones that people say are left out of the Bible. Those are different.
Okay. Guys, get those super chats in. We've got Bryson for a little bit longer. Let's see how long. we got him for about maybe 10 or 15 more minutes. We can ask him some questions. What else is on your mind? Can you say what you're about? Because you're about to jump on another live, you said?
Yeah, I'm about to debate
transsexual.
I'm so used to saying the other word. But yeah, I'm about to debate one of those. But the interesting thing, just to let y'all know about statistics, right? So I'll say something like this specific group is a net negative to society, right? People think I'm being mean or I'm being overly religious. So my religion does influence how I feel about this group of people, but that's nothing to do with the statistics, though.
Yeah,
like 1 in 6 of them, the specific group, have HIV, and literally, I don't know the politically correct way to say this. If you do anal sex, you're 30% have a 30% higher chance of catching HIV than you would doing regular stuff. Because what that type of sex does is you're literally, this is an exit. It's not an entrance. It's an exit. So you're tearing.
It's violent.
You're tearing it violent, which is why a lot of those people from that group have to wear diapers. Look it up. A lot of them have to wear diapers because you're not supposed to do this. You're 30% more likely to get HIV and HPV, and there's other diseases and all types of disgusting stuff because you're literally letting bacteria flow, and it's disgusting. So these people spread disease at a high rate because of what they do too.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Plus, they're out of the procreation state, and there's like unnatural ways for them to have children, which I think is disgusting and should be illegal. But so those statistics are interesting. When you look at all the statistics, and they usually support degeneracy, obviously because they're degenerate. So the degenerates are going to support degeneracy. It's like they add no positive value to society.
Yeah.
That's statistical facts, though.
Is that what you're going to debate?
I don't know what the person wanted to debate, but that's my point. And then what's funny is they're 20% more, they're 21% more likely to be depressed than the normal person. And then when you get to the transgenders, they higher than that. And then there was a study, right? So this was interesting. There was a study on the mental health of transgenders after transitioning. And what they said was, they said the mental health got better in 2017. And a lot of trans people like to use this debate, right? The mental health got better. They had to correct the article, and people do not like bringing up the correction. They corrected the article in, I think, 2019 because they was forced to, and they had to say the opposite. Actually, when people transition, more of them have to get treated for anxiety than they were before transitioning. The suicide rate is essentially the same.
Right.
So if this obviously doesn't work, so if these things doesn't work, then obviously there's a bigger thing going on that we're not talking about. And because I'm like, let's try to find the root cause of everything, and what do we do and find out the root cause, I get called a bigot, homophobic, transphobic. You know?
Yeah, it's all getting boring now. It's like, okay, whatever. Mabdig96, little super chat here. He wants to know, how do you feel about Christian metal music?
Metal music is probably one of the few genres I'm not the biggest fan of, but Tommy Vex, I heard a few of his songs, and them ones actually kind of bop. I think that's metal, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Lula Flesh wants to know, where can she watch that live?
It's going to be on cozy.tv. So cozy.tv is where people stream when they get banned from everything else. So I got banned from Twitch. So, there's a platform called cozy.tv. And it's not on my account on Cozy. It's politically provoked. So when you go to cozy.tv, you can look at the left. It'll show you all the accounts, the people that's on there. And you go to politically provoked. They're already live. So I'm going to be late to the debate. But they're already live. And I'll be there when I be there, I guess.
Okay, we'll do a little bit. Bryson, I've heard that hate is a Christian virtue in the context that God hated the wicked, and Christ would have said that he never knew them. What are your thoughts about that notion?
Psalm 5:5, God hates workers of iniquity. Not the works of iniquity, God hates the workers of iniquity. Malachi chapter 1, verses 2-3, God loved Jacob, but he hated Esau. Yes, the Hebrew does say hated Esau. And then before somebody says, I know Christians' arguments. As a Christian myself, but I'm a biblical Christian, so it's a difference. The argument is, Bryson, that was Old Testament, Malachi chapter 1, and all these things are Old Testament. Luckily for y'all, if you go to Romans chapter 9, Paul repeats Malachi chapter 1, verses 2-3, and informs you again that God hated Esau, and Paul explains it by saying God can do what he wants to do. So people that say God love everyone, that's the most silliest doctrine that ever was created in the Christian church, and that's part of the issue. Because if you tell everybody God loves them, then of course they're gonna be justified in their degeneracy.
Right. Yeah, I've always wondered that. I've always felt that was all rainbows and clouds when I've heard, like, God loves us all. Like, does he really? I don't think so.
Matter of fact, 1 John chapter 3 says you can be a child of God or a child of Satan, and it's so clear. It says the children of God and the children of Satan are obvious. Mm-hmm. That's what 1 John chapter 3 says. The children of God and the children of Satan are obvious. And read it yourselves if y'all want to see the explanation of what it means, because I don't want to say it here because y'all gonna think Bryson said it. Read the Bible. I didn't say it.
Yeah, can God look at a child rapist murderer and be like, I love that guy? I don't think so, right?
You know what I'm saying? Come on, let's be real.
Listen, the culprit says, great show. Bryson, love your thoughts on Christianity. Mike, have him on with some other religious people for a good convo, please. Who would you like to be on a show with where you're talking about different aspects of Christianity? Anybody. Or even someone that you can debate. But who's someone that, who's your dream debate, maybe?
As far as Christianity, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a dream debate because So I read the Bible a lot because the Bible says be studied in and out of season, but I don't like useless debates. Okay. And when I say useless debates, what I mean, like, if it's clear cut in the Bible, because a lot of people, a lot of Christians, when you debate, since they believe what their pastor told them, they use a lot of conjecture when it comes to the Bible. And me, I take the Bible literally, because if you don't take it literally, that means anything is metaphorical now. I mean, I can say anything is metaphorical for anything I want it to be. When you read the Bible as is, now you have something stern. Now you have something that you have to abide to. So the only person that I would want to like have a conversation with, it wouldn't be theology, because we're supposed to be all brothers in Christ. There's no reason to debate that. But I do want to debate like somebody who think you could be like pro-choice and Christian, or gay and Christian, or a gay Christian, somebody that claims to be a gay Christian, or one of these like what do they call these, the type of Christians? It's not modern Christians, they're called something. The people that be having the rainbow flags outside their church, they call them, it's just some type of
like
name.
Episcopalian.
No, it's not a denomination though. It's something they call it though.
Whatever
they call it, but like these modern Christian churches, because I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, and please debate about it if y'all want to. Gay people, harlots, adulterers, drunkards, fornicators, these people are not supposed to be in your church according to the Bible. Wicked people are not supposed to be amongst the church people. When they change, they can be a part of the church. But you're supposed to kick these people out of the church if they are caught doing some of these things. And a lot of y'all don't follow. Y'all say, a church is a house of sinners. Who told you that? There's not one Bible verse that says the church is a house of sinners. You were taught that, and you believe that, and that's why the church is where it is now.
Is that what we had our first show together when we said, whoever said, like, we're all sinners, and you said no?
Oh, that's stupid. We're all sinners, brother. And it's always out of context. They go to 1 John chapter 1 and they read, I think it's verse 8, but they forget verse 6. Because if you read verse 6, you understand that the whole point is comparing one thing with another thing. And it's all about before you have Christ and after you have Christ. So the scripture that says, if we say that we don't have no sin, then we are liars and the truth is not in us. That's talking about if you claim you don't need Jesus, turn away from your sin. Because right after it, it tells you that Jesus will help make you turn from your sins.
Right.
It's clear cut in the Bible. So people use these things and then they'll say there is no one good, not one. Once again, that's Romans. If you go to the verse, Paul is quoting a psalm, right? It's talking about people that say there is no God.
Oh.
And if you, matter of fact, you don't even have to do that. Bump what he was quoting, even though he says as it was written. So obviously he was quoting something. If you read the rest after there is no one not good, and if you look into the mirror and say, this is talking about me, you are a child of Satan. Don't take my word for it. I'm not going to even tell you what it says. Again, go read it. Go to the verse in Romans that says there is no one good, not one. There is no one righteous, not one. Read the rest of what it says, because if that applies to Christians, then the rest of it applies to Christians.
King David wrote the Psalms, right?
Or
did he write?
I think did he write all of them?
Or who wrote Proverbs? Did David write Proverbs?
I don't know.
He either wrote Proverbs or Psalms, and then one of his family members wrote the other one. I don't know. Mavdick, I'm a huge metalhead, and I'm disappointed. Okay, I don't know. Colored Zoomer, Bryson, how do you feel about the JLP situation? Before that question, though, someone said, Bryson, when will you check out Web3 dApps like Audius for music streaming and such? Is it because it's too new and unknown? Much love. Do you know what they're talking about?
I don't know what that is, bro.
I guess they're just like new music streaming apps, maybe.
Oh, I'll use it.
So JLP, what's going on with that? Do you know what's going on?
There's rumors of JLP being a homosexual, which would be disappointing for even me. That'd be so sad. That'd be a sad day if it's true. The reason I don't think it's true is because all of these people try to act like they're all straight. And if so let's say if their stories is true, if their stories are true, you literally let a grown man fondle you as a grown man. You weren't a child when this was happening. You was an adult. And let somebody fondle you, and you act like you were so scared. You just couldn't say no to Jesse. Okay, you're gay. So I mean that's pure. So if it's true, all y'all gay. But the reason I believe it's not true, because why weren't y'all saying this when y'all was working for Jesse? I just find it very interesting that everybody came out at similar times to say the same thing. Y'all got paid to do a documentary of those people to say the same thing, and all y'all don't work for him anymore. Y'all all got fired or something else and said these things, right? So that doesn't make any sense. So off the rip, that made me question the validity of what they're saying. But I am not biased. I like Jesse Lee Peterson, so if he's gay, that'd be sad, very sad. But the only thing I will give them is that, and I think this is me basing it off what I would do. If somebody make a claim about me, I'm going live within 5 minutes. Everybody knows this. I'm telling everybody to contact you, come on my live, speak what you just said in front of me, because I'm confident that you, I mean, not confident, I know you're lying, right? He hasn't really talked about it at all or addressed it.
I don't even really know what's going on with it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something interesting, but don't even look into it. These dudes are weirdos. Jesse Lee Peterson is dope.
Yeah, I don't know. Is he all there? He doesn't seem like he's all there.
I think so. I mean, here go my thing. It's popular to say common sense now. So all Jesse Peterson does is say common sense, but nobody can deny he has helped so many people.
Yeah.
He has helped so many people, not just changing somebody's mind in politics. Screw politics, bro. Things are deeper than politics. He has helped people change their entire lifestyles. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to me, that says a lot. That says a lot about a man. Now, once again, I don't really know Jesse too much personally. I've been on his show, so I mean, the people very well could be telling the truth. But I will choose not to believe it until I see some irrefutable evidence.
Okay.
I don't believe in Me Too movements.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Nobody had any voicemails. Nobody had any footage. No voicemails. No footage. Like, geez Louise. Give me some.
So Ali says Web3 is internet on the blockchain. You got to learn crypto. You can have truly decentralized apps free from control and censorship. Right now, the battle over Web3 is going on.
That's
a very interesting battle. I don't know too much about it.
Me neither. And I'm going to be honest, that sounds like a lot of work. And I am a very, very, very busy person.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, speaking about like that stuff where you say if someone says something to you and you'll go right on live, like someone about a whole abortion's worse than slavery, which it is. A lot of people in the comments still on that video, still today, thank you for the algo boost for everyone that is hating on it. They're like, have you seen so-and-so's response to you guys, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no. Why am I going to watch something? If that person did a response video, it's getting a lot of views, but they didn't reach out to us to like talk to us about it live or something like that, then why do I care?
Yeah, why? They're punks.
Yeah.
I mean, here go my thing. Talk to me. Anybody can sound good on their own videos, bro. That's why I go live. Nope, we're not planning it. I don't want to set a specific time. Come on live.
I don't even care if it's on my... People are like, no, well, it's on your live in front of your audience. Like, so what?
So what? I go to the jungle. I'll be in your live with all your fans. I don't even care. To me, that's how you gotta that's how you gotta handle it when you know people be capped out.
Yeah. Capped out.
Yeah,
Total capped out. I think we're tapped out right now. So I know you got to go get to that other debate. Thank you, everybody that's watching. I know it was a shorter live. We'll do another one again with Bryson soon. Listen, like, subscribe, like the video, tell your friends about it. We're trying to get a bunch of subscribers by the end of the year. Well, I think that's what we're trying to do all the time. But go to all the fun stuff down there in the description. And good night, everybody. Thank you, Bryson. Thanks for coming on.
Of course. Thanks you so much for having me.
Tell people where to go to see you.
Subscribe to me on YouTube, Bryson Gray, or just follow me on, just really go to cozy.tv/Bryson Gray. Follow me there because that's my totally uncensored content. I still don't curse, but I could speak freely how I want to speak. And it is hilarious. I think I had 400 people in my last Omegle stream. So I go on Omegle and have conversations with random people, trying to bring morality to Omegle.
Oh, maybe I'll do that in my downtime.
Yeah,
okay.
It's fun though.
You gotta teach me to make sure I don't get some guy touching himself.
Just, you will see it. Just don't click unmoderated. That's unmoderated.
Okay. Hey, listen. Cozy.tv to watch Bryson on this live stream in a debate right now with the trans person or something. All right. Good night, everybody.